Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Welcome to the Share Report. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. For those who are returning, thank you so much for being here and all the things and for your support. In the meantime, if you're new, be sure to subscribe so that you would never miss a video. And those who are returning, make sure to share this video, get the message out, all the things. So I wanted to dive deep into this video because hello to everyone who has hopped on so far. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some things because I know I seem to, I don't want to say calamity holler. That sounds pretty rough. But I will say that there are so many things that are going on right now that it is so important for us to know. And one of them being that, as the title of this video, AI, robots, population, what does it mean? Does it all go together? And I have to say it does, because there's a certain organization called the World Economic Forum. And every time I talk about them, I just get the just this sensation of like terror and like creepiness. It is so creepy talking about them because it's just utter, when I think of them, it's just like the root of evil and just deceit and just wickedness, especially towards humanity. The way that they look at humanity is just so pure wickedness. Every single time I research something about them, read something about them, look into them, it's just like this pure evilness that I get in my soul from them. So anyway, so as we know that there has been a lot of job layoffs lately. Amazon, they laid off lots and lots of people. In the tech world, I mean, there are just a continuation of layoffs. And it's very sad because obviously people have to work in order to survive, pay bills, be able to eat. And with all these massive layoffs, I just feel like there's something bigger that we're not seeing. Okay. So yes, there's layoffs. There's been layoffs lots and lots of times over the years of the United States, but it just seems like there's a lot of mass layoffs. And there's also a lot of pushing towards less people. Okay. So, like I mentioned, the World Economic Forum, we have this whole big grand scheme of thing that I've been talking about lately with our federal government in general, just different things that they've been pushing. And it seems like everybody is working together. Everybody has their own agenda. Okay. So, when I say everybody has their own agenda, there may be this pocket of people who are wanting to push perversion and push perversion on children and the alphabet community. And then we have these foreign entities that are wanting to control us and push their agenda to get rid of populations in this place and use us for different things. And then we have this group of people who are really, 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 really into depopulating. Like, okay, let's name some people like Bill, and his last name is not Fence, but you know what I'm talking about, very close to a fence. All right, so we don't have to name people. Anyway, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, Gates. Okay. So anyway, we have people that are like that are consistently, that we're being targeted from, just the average people are being targeted from different directions. They're all in it for one thing or another. Okay. So the reason I'm saying this is because it just seems like a lot of things are pointing to one grand scheme of evilness. And it's been like this from the very beginning. Okay. So I want to bring up some things here that are actually pretty old papers. Like this one particular paper I had mentioned before. Hopefully that you all can see this here. Okay, so this is from 1988. So very, very old piece of paper. And I mentioned this before. And this is actually talking about the Social Security number. Now you're probably thinking, what does the Social Security number mean? I mean, we all have social security numbers, but I want to show you something and share something with you, how we all have been desensitized to think a certain way. Like we've all been captivated. Our mind has been desensitized and slowly manipulated and slowly gaslit and slowly thinking, being controlled to think a certain way, to be controlled. Okay. And like where it's going to get to the point where it's just nothing. All right. So let me go back here. All right, so in nights before 1988, children under 5 years old did not have a Social Security card. Okay, this is the paper that I'm talking right here, as you guys can see. All right, children did not have a Social Security card before 1988 until then. Okay, under 5 years old, they did not have it. And the reason I'm saying that is because they basically said you have to do it or else. You have to do it because it's going to benefit you. You're going to have to do it because of this. And I'm going to read a little bit of this to you. Beginning in 1988, all children aged 5 or older must have a Social Security number if their parents want to claim them as exemptions on their income tax return. Here's a quick and easy way to get a number for your child, plus a tax-saving loophole you can take advantage of. So basically, they use these little tactics to manipulate us. All right? They manipulate the masses to control us, to keep track of us, to keep track of people. And because we're like they're little puppets, they want to control us. And people not thinking, okay, Social Security number, I'm just throwing this out here. This is just one way of them manipulating the masses. Under the new tax law, when you file your 1987 tax return next spring, you will have a list of Social Security number for a child 5 or older whom you claim as an exemption. This means that if you don't have a Social Security number for your child now, you must get one before tax time. And they go through all these reasons why that you must have it. Okay. So that was just one deceitful way of trying to get you to comply or to register. Okay. All right. So now that they have that grasp on you, now it's full blown. Everybody from 1988 on that were born in a hospital, you automatically get your Social Security card. Now they claim it, for fraud and Social Security purpose and tax purposes and all the things. But, okay, all these numbers and all these things to keep track of people. Okay, keep track of all these numbers. Have you realized, okay, that the population that we currently have now, they say we're okay right now, but they're saying in 2030 and 2033, the population is going to start declining. Okay, it's going to start declining for a lot of different reasons. And the more push to control us, the push to control the population. I'm just throwing that out there because a lot of people are saying this, like what's going on, like all these different things. Okay. And then with the job layoffs, like what are we going to do with all these people? Okay. We got to control them. We're going to be tracking them now. And now China, which we're in competition for with AI, we're in big competition for them. It's us and China. Okay. We're like neck and neck. Probably China's ahead of us because they now have facial recognition where they have to recognize people and they're selling it. Here's another selling point. Okay, for controlling the masses and controlling the population and keeping track of you. Okay, they're selling it. Oh, we can watch out for thieves. Okay, people won't steal. I actually had a friend, coworker, that she actually went abroad over to South Korea and she was there for a very long time vacationing and everything. And she says, they have lots of cameras, on the streets and everything. I said, I don't really agree with that. I don't think that we should be walking around and monitoring people and invading on their privacy. She goes, yeah, I know. But she says, it keeps crime down. So that is just one little way, these little things that they can control us and keep track of us. Okay. So we got the Social Security card and it's sold. You can get more in your taxes. Okay. Keep more in your taxes. Get your children their Social Security code. Okay. Yes. That's why that's funny comment there. And then they have these cameras now that are surveying people. Okay. And all these little things. Okay. Now then London, they have their ID card. It's because we want to be able to make sure that you can work in London. We want to be able to make sure. All right. So all these different things that they are doing to control the masses. Now let's fast forward. Okay. To not only population, but the mass layoffs that we have. Okay. What are we going to do with all these people? Okay. Enter AI, artificial intelligence, enter automation, okay? Enter robots. Like I had mentioned, China has a robot that can build a car in like, I think it's like 7 minutes, less than 7 minutes. Could be even shorter than that. I should pull up the video for you guys. I probably will do a different video where we'll dive deeper into these like robot kind of things. But what's going to happen to all these people? Okay. I'm not going to throw out any conspiracies, but I want you guys to really think about it. Just really think about what are they going to do with all of these people. Okay. And I mentioned the World Economic Forum earlier in this video, and they mentioned that they wanted to get the population. They talked about getting the population down to this really teeny number. I think it was like 500,000 people. Okay. And I know that sounds insane considering the United States I think we have like 300 and something million people. I think it's something like that. Okay. So they're wanting to break it down. So all of this is kind of tied hand in hand. All of this is tied hand in hand. And then I often think about whenever the government, the federal government, tries to throw out different things like, oh, we're going to do this for you. We're going to do this for you. I start to think, is this a Trojan horse? Like, is something coming behind it that's going to be worse than what we're experiencing now? It's just making me think. I'm just starting to get so suspicious of all the things that they're saying that they're going to do for us. Okay. So what do you guys think? I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of weird things that are happening lately, and I'm just not buying it. I'm definitely not buying it. One other thing that I wanted to show you that was so interesting, and this was a very long time ago as well. They were talking about, they were already starting the propaganda about children, okay, about how expensive children were. So this right here, it actually has a baby with a barcode on its forehead, okay, and the real cost of raising kids. So they were already starting to manipulate your mind saying, don't have children, don't populate, okay, because they're expensive. Children are expensive. Yes, everybody knows children are expensive, okay? It's just what it is, okay? So, but this is one other thing that they had started, and I was actually given this, and I thought, wow, this is interesting. They have a baby here with a barcode, and they're already starting to manipulate our minds way ahead of time and saying, don't have children. Okay. Think about it. They say in one of their quotes, they have, you will own nothing and be happy. And you can actually see that they've slowly and just different ways have caused us to not own things. Okay. Think about it. This is just one of those things that you have to think about. And it's just a minute thing. Think about like how people rent Netflix movies or whatever. I don't do that, but how people rent Netflix movies instead of like back in the old days, you would buy a movie or buy a video and you would keep it at home and you would have a bin of movies with you. Now it's just like renting. Okay. Everything, like even your subscription is renting. You can't just do one basic fee and have it forever. So like they're starting to manipulate your mind like you'll never own anything. Okay. Never, ever own anything. It's just always renting things. Okay. And it's getting to the point now where they're wanting us to have less and less. Think about it. My granddaddy, okay, living here in Florida in the South. Okay. I know people say, oh, the Florida's not South, but some places are very Southern. Okay. My family has been here for generations and everybody has a Southern accent except for myself. I don't really have a Southern accent. Sometimes it comes out, but anyway, so we're Southern people from Florida, multi-generational Floridians. Okay. So my granddaddy works in a factory. Okay. And my grandmother stayed home and she had lots of children. She had 6 children. Okay. Variety of ages. My aunt's almost 10 years older than my mom. My mom's kind of like I'm the younger. She's the youngest daughter. And then there's her little brother. Okay. So lots of children, 6 children. And my grandmother stayed home and they were perfectly fine. Okay. So the thing is that they are slowly squeezing us to death with taxes, and we're living in smaller spaces. We're renting more. Nobody's owning anything. Okay. So it's like this big grand scheme of things. Okay. Not only are they taking our jobs and replacing with AI and automation and robots, then it's leaving all these people. What are they going to do with us? Okay. I'm just throwing that out there. Just a question for us to think about. What are they going to do? And it's just something that I wanted to toss out and for us to think about and we can talk a little more about this eventually. And it's just a question that I have because I'm just starting to think, okay, that there's something bigger happening behind the scenes, something much, much, much bigger. Okay, I'm going to throw out something else out there. You also may know that our currency is devalued, okay? Inflation, they just keep printing, 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 which makes the value of the dollar a lot less, okay? They have already spoken about doing away with the penny. And I actually read that, and it's supposed to be stopping pretty soon, or it already stopped. And it was talking about the last pennies that are being made. They're going to be worth like thousands of dollars. Okay. So that's another thing. Okay. We have all these problems in the world, and we're talking about stopping making the penny because it's more to make it than what it actually cost. Okay. So there we go. We're already starting to see stripping away of our society, stripping away of our way of life. Different things. India has gone away with, I think, either the $100 or $50 bill, one of those bigger bills. So it's showing me that there's something happening, going to happen, just saying, and then that the New World Order is right around the corner. And the whole digital currency is right around the corner. Okay. I am just throwing that out there. I wanted us to think about it. Like I said, I always come in this video, love chatting with you all. I wanted to have a conversation, tossing out my thoughts, seeing what you guys think. All right, let me know in the comments, even after this video is up here. Let me know what you guys think. I really would like to know. And tomorrow is actually my birthday. So we're going to have something a little bit different tomorrow for tomorrow's live video. So I wanted to throw that out there. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I will put up a post later with the photo and all the things. And it will be a very special live birthday video. And we will talk about some things. I like talking on these things and having a conversation, educating ourselves, all the things. So I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all for joining, and see you soon. Thanks.